As you can see in this email, I received the offer in question on November 26 at 1:28 p.m. This particular proposal came after countless other offers from Stan for numerous other players, all of which were denied. This particular offer came with Stan's insistence that we be able to make a trade before the deadline. After refusing to make the trade multiple times to Stan, he decided to get me good and liquored up on a couple IPAs, and then he actually convinced me to click accept on the deal. Unfortunately for him though, it was a 2-for-1 trade, and I still needed to drop one player before the trade would actually process. It was at this point that Stan informed me of the Brandon Marshall situation and that he would not be able to play for me this week. I told Stan that I would absolutely not go forward with this trade since I was not going to be able to have Brandon Marshall play. Then, Stan told me that this was not a problem if he could get half of the league or 2 of the 3 board members to vote to push the trade through. Further, Stan assured me that since we had 5 of the league members and 2 of the board members present with us at the time, that this was not going to be a problem and that the trade would go through in plenty of time. Nonetheless, I told Stan that I would absolutely not go through with this trade unless he could guarantee that he could get sufficient votes to make this trade go through legitimately. And that's when Stan reassured me that everything will be just fine. It was at this time that Danny decided to send a text message out to the league notifying them of Stan's intention to push the trade through. As you can see from the timestamp on this text, this occurred at 4:50 p.m. At that point, given Stan's assurances that he had enough votes to make this trade go through legitimately, I regretfully clicked accept on this deal. As you can see from the timestamp on this email, that occurred at 4:52 p.m. after Danny had already sent the text message notifying the league of Stan's intentions. This alone demonstrates that I was well aware of the Brandon Marshall situation prior to clicking accept on the deal. This fact is further evidenced by an admission made by Stan during his deposition.
Some may say that John knew that Brandon Marshall could not play.
Yes, but John was honest in the fact that he said, "Hey, I will not make this trade unless Brandon Marshall will play."
Wait a minute.
Unless Brandon Marshall will play, and I agreed to it.
At that time, Stan pushed the trade through, and needless to say, members of the league were outraged. However, instead of attempting to explain to the league that with enough votes he has the authority to make this trade go through, Stan cowardly accused me of hacking into his account and unilaterally pushing this trade through and cheating. This is directly contrary to a candid conversation that was caught on camera with Stan on Friday night.
I pushed the trade through. I pushed it through.
What's the trade?
I pushed the trade through.
Talk to your...
I pushed the trade through. What am I saying?
And is also contrary to an admission that he made during his deposition.
Let him film it first.
He is.
I'm filming it.
What's your rationale for, first of all, pushing the trade through?
I pushed the trade through because it was a day before the deadline, and it was an honest trade. John accepted, and it was a good trade. John needed Brandon Marshall to play on Thursday, and we pushed it through.
But people are...
Let us not forget that given that I was well aware of the situation with Brandon Marshall prior to accepting the trade, I had zero incentive to risk such a controversy, as I was not the one with so much to gain. I am in dead last place and had absolutely no chance of making the playoffs. So what have we learned here today? Let's review the facts. First, contrary to the statement that Stan made to the league, I was well aware of the situation with Brandon Marshall prior to accepting this trade. Second, that Stan assured me that he was able to collect enough votes in order to push this trade through legitimately. Third, you heard it in Stan's own words. He was the one that pushed the trade through, and I absolutely did not hack Stan's account and unilaterally push this trade through myself. My reliance on the word of the commissioner that he would gain enough votes to push this through legitimately does not make me culpable, and I am innocent on all counts.